I want to talk about this. ContraPoints has spoken, and it's pretty disappointing as I anticipated. I want to take a look at ContraPoints' Twitter before we get into this, because she's been having some messy Twitter arguments with Taylor Lorenz, and I've never seen Natalie's YouTube channel. She has a lot of subscribers, and she makes good video essays. So what do we got here? I'm not trying to be an annoying resistance libs, but I don't think Kamala Harris would have done this. So this is basically being like, oh, the left always complains that Trump is the same with Kamala. And this is like a very small fraction of people that say Trump is the same as Kamala. People do say Trump is the same as Kamala on the issue of Israel, which all of the evidence points to that being the case. So it is a disingenuous straw man to say that the left compares Trump to Kamala and says that they're the same. A lot of politically uninvolved people make that argument. A lot of politically uneducated people will just make the argument and throw their hands up and be like, oh, well, all Republicans and all Democrats are the same, so it doesn't matter who you vote for. But if you're actually politically aware, and you cover politics, you know that as bad as the Democrats are, they are 100% better than the Republicans. In no way, shape, or form are the Republicans ever going to be better than the Democrats. And at worst, they're going to be similar. So what is this? He says, unironically, yes, for QAnon, Mecha Hitler. This is Grok, and she says it's hard to overstate the extent. Oh, I want to see her exchange with Taylor Lorenz. That's what I want to look at. Possible Taylor. Where's Taylor Lorenz? Alligator Lives Matter. Goddamn, ContraPoints is a poster. ContraPoints is sure a poster. Are you guys just noticing now that like 50% of the discourse on this is Jew hate? That's true. Well, at least they've moved on from the Buck Angel thing. Yeah, that's fair enough. Okay, here we go. So, Ethan's Attic, who is an Ethan Kleinhead. What's wrong with resistance libs? We are annoyingly correct about everything. Are you guys just noticing now? So she's responding to Ethan's Attic. Obviously not. What do you make of his claim that Zionism rehabilitated Hitler's image? That's just what the f are they talking about? Taylor Lorenz, nowhere here did I or anyone replying to this thread that I've seen say the second thing. Anti-Zionism is not anti-Semitism. I think when your content is being used by a Zionist like Klein, you might want to consider that your message could have been communicated with more nuance. Okay, so she's just arguing with Taylor Lorenz about anti-Semitism versus anti-Zionism. Look at the thread you're responding to. I cited an example of blatant anti-Semitism. A bunch of leftists jumped in to say that no, that's not anti-Semitism. There's no leftist anti-Semitism. I don't see this as a negligible fringe issue. So she's saying there is anti-Semitism on the left. And on the anti-Semitism on the left is, front of the channel, Vadim from Hey It's Vadim. And Vadim says, I've always thought of you as someone who is disgusted by insincere religiosity and how our politicians cynically use it as a cover for their corruption. I don't want to pit you two against one another, but can you help this girl see the light? LOL. Do you generally not get that this is referencing a conspiracy theory that Zionists killed JFK? And the post was, never in my life did I think anything could rehabilitate Hitler's image, but then I learned about Zionism. Is this the guy you're talking about? Rat Bone makes the mute. This is like too much internet lore for me. So Vadim says, Rathbone knows JFK was pro-Israeli. JFK was the only president. Carter was the first president. The Western Wall was not even under Israeli control until 1967. What the I'm just, it's hard to like jump into the middle of a conversation. But they're just like basically Natalie ContraPoints is just arguing that anti-Semitism exists on the left and there's an issue with anti-Semitism on the left. Are you trying to claim that 50% of the leftist discourse on this app is Jew hate? No, I'm not claiming that. Yeah, that's fine. This is pretty stupid. Left anti-Semitism has always been a thing. I don't see what is gained in denying it. Well, I mean, you have to define what you're talking about, because if you, like Ethan Klein, are saying that being anti-Israel is the equivalent to being anti-Semitic, which is a claim Ethan Klein definitely makes, then you're not accurately describing what's occurring on the left. And so I don't see what's gained in denying it. Trying to get to the truth is gained if you push back against that. Like, if you show how leftists are anti-Semitic, and I would argue if you are anti-Semitic, you're definitionally not a leftist. But if you can show how leftists that we accept are leftists are anti-Semitic, I'm all for it. Like, please call that out. That's horrible. But if you're only saying they're anti-Semitic because you are conflating anti-Zionism with anti-Semitism, then you're a piece of shit that is serving to justify it. So you're going to have to be like, obviously these are just Twitter replies here, but I'm trying to get at the underlying motivations for ContraPoints to make this Reddit post. So we're trying to lay the groundwork before we can actually get into the Reddit post. Rathbone isn't even on the left. Yeah, it doesn't seem like he is on the left. Like, once again, if you're conspiracy posting about how Israelis killed JFK, you're not on the left. You're not a leftist. Vadim might have cited this person. Is this the guy you're talking about? So they're saying politicians cynically use it to cover up for their corruption. That's true. You genuinely not get that this is referencing a conspiracy theory that the Zionists killed JFK? And he's like, I don't think that that's what he was referencing. And then he gets corrected, and he's like, "Oh yeah, you're right. I jumped to some conclusions there without thinking. My bad." Okay, so he's not being anti-Semitic here. Like, he might have quoted someone that's like a right-winger that was hinting at a conspiracy theory. But once again, this is the danger of conflating Zionism with Jewishness. Being a Zionist is not the same as being a Jewish person, and being against Zionism is not the same as being anti-Semitic or talking about anti-Semitic conspiracy theories. So, like, I'm just trying to, like, get her base position on this. Another Taylor Lorenz thing, left anti-Semitism has always been a thing. Like, I'm not going to try to make the claim that ContraPoints is leaving the left, because most of her posting and replying is anti-conservative. But she's definitely a Zionist. Like, insisting that anti-Semitism does exist on the left and it's a big issue, and that's the thing that she's focused on, more than actually like freeing Palestine. Like, if we just look at her Twitter feed, she's argued that anti-Semitism is an issue on the left way more than she's argued in a pro-Palestinian position. So let's actually just like get into her Reddit post. This is an effort post. Video essayist going to essayist. So first of all, I'm going to come right out and say it. If you are a content creator and you have a good platform and you live in America, I think it is morally reprehensible to not speak out about America funding and facilitating in Palestine. I think that is morally reprehensible. And that's honestly like a big part of the reason why I started this channel, is to speak out about this. I don't want to, if I ever have kids someday, be like, yeah, I just did nothing and I kept my head down when our country was funding it, because it just like physically sickens me to think about the evil that my country is doing and being so powerless, which is why I wanted to do a little bit of something. If it can even change like a few people's minds, send a few more phone calls towards Congress, and apply a tiny bit more pressure on the people in power that are actually responsible for funding this, I'm going to do it. So I do think it's morally reprehensible to not speak up at all. I think it's repugnant to actually criticize the people that are speaking up about this issue. I think that's insane to do. And I think that if you support Israel, or even if you don't even want to talk about Israel at all, you're just like, yeah, like, that's an issue that's very sensitive in terms of there's a lot of institutional pressure supporting Israel and attacking the people that are critical of Israel, so I'm just going to keep my head down. Then you don't need to make statements criticizing the people that are pro-Israel. You can do what Brian Tyler Cohen does, where he literally does not speak about Israel whatsoever, because he's just trying to keep his head down and be a pro-Democratic Party propaganda machine. Like, He doesn't talk about Israel whatsoever. But he doesn't criticize the people that talk about Israel, which is what ContraPoints is doing. And that's what Ethan Klein is doing too. And that's when you open the door to yourself getting criticized. So what do we have here? Can I zoom in on this? Oh my God, I fucking hate Twitter. Why can I not zoom in on this any more than I am right now? Wow, this sucks. I hate this. I hate this so much. Hold on. I do love her like little YouTube essayist chapters that she adds. Okay, so here we go. So dash. Many leftists feel betrayed because I haven't made a video on Palestine. Do they actually want a ContraPoints video about Palestine? Will they be happy if I get in the bath and pour milk on a mannequin of Benjamin Netanyahu? No. So first of all, it's not that they feel betrayed because you haven't spoken about Palestine. It's that they feel betrayed because when you do speak about Palestine, you are criticizing the people that are advocates of the Palestinians. That's why they feel betrayed. Second of all, sure, make a video about Palestine. Why have you not done that? Benjamin Netanyahu's a shitty person and he should probably be in prison for the rest of his life. But does that diminish the enjoyment I'd get out of seeing you pour milk on an effigy of Benjamin? I haven't seen any of your videos, but I'd probably watch that one. So yes, I would be happy if you made a video about that. But she says no, which is an assumption that I don't know why she would make. Pro-Palestinian content gets a ton of views. There is a hunger for justice for Palestinians and a hunger for content creators that are speaking out in favor of Palestinians. You can see, literally, we just had a politician win the mayoral Democratic primary in New York, and he was an ardent supporter of Palestinians. Not that he made that the center point of his campaign, but the news, the media did make that a center point of his campaign, and he didn't back down on it. He actually spoke about his truly held convictions and didn't try to play to the demographics and try to triangulate in on a perfect position that would get him the most votes. He stuck to his moral convictions, and there was an audience for that. There was a hunger for a politician to speak about their moral convictions on Palestine. So yes, I think people would actually enjoy a video of you talking, like, just on Benjamin Netanyahu. Just make fun of Benjamin Netanyahu. And not only is there an audience for that, I actually think it could be helpful. Because ContraPoints, she's a big channel. She has a lot of, I would say, more normie viewers, just as a virtue, just by virtue of having such a big channel. You're going to reach a lot more people that might not watch Hassan or Vosh or Kyle Kalinske or obviously me. I have a minuscule audience compared to ContraPoints. So not only is there an appetite for people that are already plugged in, but I think it could be informative and educational and actually change people's minds on for people that really don't know much about this conflict. Okay. Let's go on. I've posted about Gaza occasionally and have quietly given money to Palestinian aid organizations. So first of all, like, okay, that's great. Why quietly? Only reason you would quietly do it is because you're afraid of pushback from like a conservative regime, which is it's fair to be afraid of that for sure, but maybe speak up about it when public opinion is actually a really important factor in pressuring our politicians to stop supporting this. Then she goes on and says, but I think what leftists really want is for me to join their chorus of anger. Yes, speak out. Like, once again, making a video about Palestine is joining their chorus of anger. What the fuck are you talking about? How could you make a video about a maniac and not have that be a part of the angry outcry of leftists? They sense some hesitation on my part. Well, you haven't made a video on it and are judging me very harshly on my presumed opinions. I think they're judging you harshly on your lack of acting out on and like speaking out against it. I think that's what they're judging you harshly for. That's what I'm judging her harshly for. I'd rather be judged on my actual opinion. So here they are. I also judge her for at least recently, arguing with Taylor Lorenz about anti-Semitism on the left instead of actually bringing up the Palestinians had been getting killed every single day in Israel, then no one's really talking about. Is Israel committing in Gaza? Yes. Do I oppose it? Yes. Do I feel angry about it? Yes. I also feel a lot of other things. Once again, it's so good that ContraPoints is saying that Israel's committing in Gaza. That's great. I love that for her. But when your coverage of the consists of criticizing the people speaking out against the as them verging on anti-Semitism rather than the actual itself, it's not enough to focus only on the leftists that are speaking out against it when the rest of your content, or yeah, it's not enough to just say, oh, well, Israel's committing it, and then have your content only focus on the leftist criticism of Israel and saying that leftists are going too far. That is not enough, right? If you want to actually be against it, then just say Israel's committing and leave it at that. Or you can criticize some leftists, but then fucking talk about that Israel's doing. Like, if you say Israel's committing, but then you only focus on the leftists and say they're anti-Semitic, then effectively you're defending Israel. You're running propaganda for Israel. That's what you're doing, which is exactly what Ethan Klein does. Ethan Klein spends 99% of his time attacking the pro-Palestinian leftist content creators and calling them anti-Semitic. And then whenever he gets a little bit of pushback, every now and then he'll be like, yeah, but Israel might be doing it. Like, they're doing some bad stuff there. And he thinks that's an out when it's definitely not an out. Guys, I am never going to do ad reads on here, no advertisers, not going to be sponsored by dick pills or whatever. If you want to support my work, encourage me to live stream more, please consider joining the channel. You'll get access to early content, you'll get members only content, and your name will be in green. That's so good.